Talk to them boys that sat on them benches, boy. I was in the game on 4 inches. Go put me in the game on 4 inches. Put me in the
Hello and welcome back to SML 4th and Inches, the greatest show on the CFM community. I'm Primetime 000, joined by AJ. How you doing, brother?
What's up, man? I'm glad to be back. I feel like it's been a minute.
It's been a hot minute, man. A lot has changed since the last time you've been on with me, and we got a lot to talk about on the show. If you guys are new to it, we do a bunch of different segments, talk about a lot of random things. And first segment, just going right into it, 4th and 5. So kind of similar to the Map 5. If you watch Total Access, it's kind of our top 5 thing. And AJ, why don't you tell us what we're going to talk about?
This segment, we'll be talking about the top 5 excuses after losing. It's funny. It's with all of these excuses we're about to list. I pretty much have like 1 or 2 people in mind for each one, but we'll maybe keep that to ourselves unless you want to air those out. But anyways, do you want to lead off with the first one?
Yeah, I'm just gonna right off the bat. The game sucks. This happened in the game. Maybe it was. If this fumble, they don't necessarily say that this is what caused them to lose, maybe, but they're like, oh, they'll post this clip of this fumble and then like, yeah, like the game sucks and almost infer that this had happened and that's why they lost. Hate it, can't stand it.
Yeah, not a great look. We've all probably fell victim to that somewhat of another. Maybe not saying this game sucks, but it's easy to post a clip where like something outlandish happened. But there's some repeat offenders. So that, I mean, you could probably call that number 1 as far as the list goes. All right. So the next one we got, I was testing out a new playbook. I was trying some new things. That's always a fun one. Nobody ever says that leading into the game. It's always after the game for some reason. That it's like the LeBron effect, after the playoffs and he loses 0-4. I've had a calf strain this whole playoffs. It's been nagging me. So
yeah, Manny Pacquiao said that after he lost to Floyd Mayweather, it was a broken hand. It's like, how come we didn't know about this beforehand? But that's a Dan one. That's the Dan one. Unless if he's playing me, then he'll just say I got lucky. But if Dan loses, it's hey, I was just practicing something. But I think I found something out. He'll say I think I got something new I learned from this. So this is a good loss. But for me. I'm going to skip one because you put this one in. I had too much to drink. I think you helped put this one in too, but that's a good one. Worst excuse ever is blaming intoxication or an external factor on your loss. Cannot stand that at all.
Yeah, nobody's forcing alcohol down your throat or anything before the game, so that's not really a valid excuse. It's kind of like, I got in a wreck because I was, wasted when I got in the car. It's not a valid excuse. I've had that one before on me. I think it was in Primer. Actually, I think it was Wine.
Oh no!
I was all happy because I beat Wine. It was when I first got to Primer. I knew he was a better player, and he was like, "Oh man, I'm so wasted right now." I was like, "Well, shit." I kind of believed him though, to be honest.
I respect Wine. What do you got?
Yeah, sure. All right, so I thought this one was funny because we see it sometimes especially between 2 elite players. Oh, I was saving my good stuff for the playoffs. I mean, to an extent, maybe. Everybody's playbook changes somewhat throughout the season.
Yes.
You maybe get some new stuff in the playoffs, but I think everybody kind of plays their game throughout the season. I think that's kind of a bailout for sure.
Yeah, I'm guilty of using this one. I'll use this one from time to time, and sometimes I'm telling the truth, and other times I'm lying. It just depends on the game.
It's a strategic thing. You get in somebody's head, maybe like, oh, maybe he wasn't playing me straight up, So
I lost to Bomber a couple of weeks ago. Well, I mean last season, and I said it, and he just kicked my butt. But I said I was prepping for the playoffs. But there was a game last cycle when I was the Chargers and Q was the Bucks, and he torched me, and I intentionally went cover 2 like way too often against him on purpose. And then he had like 5 passing touchdowns in the Super Bowl. He had like 60 yards passing because I went cover 3. I wanted to get that Q jab in, and I wanted to say that there are times when I'm telling the truth. So you'll never know. You'll never really know. Good list. I don't know. I knew I shouldn't have played so late. That's another good one. Staying up late in any sort of excuse. Knew I shouldn't have ran home, played this game early, all that stuff. Good stuff. Good, terrible excuses. It is what it is. Well, another one, I played KJ once, and he said he blamed his 3-year-old for unplugging his PlayStation when I was up by like 20 points. It's like, how can't you control your 3-year-old, KJ? You're a grown man.
I have a soft spot for KJ and his 3-year-old. So I've had mine literally throw up in the middle of a game, and I pause for a solid like 5 minutes. So that'll throw you off, believe it or not.
I'm sure. Let's move around the SML and talk about what's popping in the SML. And I think a big one right now is in the AFC East with Gutta. And really, it's a 3-horse race. Last time I looked, it was Gutta, it was Finns, and it was KJ, actually. They were all... Oh, wait, Gutta, Finns, KJ. No. Why am I saying Gutta? Gutta ain't in the AFC East. I'm all mixed up. AFC East.
You're in DD.
Yeah. I'm all screwed up. It's Bean, it's KJ, and it's Finns battling out for the NFC or AFC East. It's late for me to record the show, obviously. That division is really, really fun. I think a lot of people expected Bean to run away with that division. He is the next big thing. He studies a lot. He plays a lot. He's really good at jumping in front of balls to make aggressive catches, rocket catches, and he just hasn't pulled away with that division, which is shocking to me. What's your thoughts on that division?
Well, I think Bean is definitely the best player of the division, but he's the Patriots, and we have the Dolphins and the Jets, and those teams are loaded. And I think and Finns has been playing better this cycle. KJ is a tough out. That defense is nasty. Everybody's played it. Nobody wants to play KJ either because of his style. He'll just lull you to sleep, or either that or just enrage you. One or the other. It's either one or the other. But I think that's part of it. I don't know. Maybe Bean's busy at work. I don't know, but I think that division is competitive. I don't. This has happened probably 3 seasons now out of the 6 we played.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a fluke anymore. I think that division is just competitive. I think Figs won it. Finns has won it. Beans won it.
KJ's won it.
Did KJ win it, or was that a wild card?
Well, he made the playoffs. I think he had to have won the division.
He had to have won it. Surely he didn't make a wild card at 7 wins or whatever he had.
Come on,
Not
you didn't have to say that. It's true though. And
no, I'm not. I mean, I'm just making sense of the matter here.
It's the truth, and the truth is, it's fun to watch, and nobody has this division clinched yet. I think Finns might be the favorite. Gutta, we're going to talk about in a second, plays Bean tonight. Probably by the time this is done recording, they'll be almost done with their game. That's going to be a big game, but that division is really fun. And Gutta's another one. Tell me what's your thoughts on this Gutta AFC? Speaking of wild card, what's going on here?
Dude, I don't know what it is. Gutta has been the past 2 times I played Gutta.
He's good.
I think previously I don't think I've lost to him, but the past 2 times I played him, he's a different player.
He is.
So, he's playing smart. He's not forcing the ball. He's freaking methodical, and those players piss me off. I want him to throw me picks and force the ball downfield. He's taking what you give you, and he's got one of those generational running backs he drafted last season. That guy's insane. Out the box, he was just breaking tackles. He's got high speed. He's a bigger back, so he gets those big back animations. You know what I mean? Where he just falls forward. So he's a tough one if he's running the ball and he's just taking what the defense gives him. I mean, Gutta's playing ball, man. I don't think this is the same guy that's choked out of the playoffs the past few seasons. So.
Yeah, his issue has been always showing up on time and then playing consistently, and he's been playing consistent. The problem is his schedule is really, really hard to end the season. And nipping on his heels is QP, who's a really, really good player who's going to take advantage if he slips. It would be cool to see Gutta make it. And like you said, his style, run the ball, make, kind of just conservative reads and take care of the ball. That'll win you a lot of football games, and that's playoff brand football. So that's fun to watch. I'm pulling for Gutta to make it. And then NFC side of things, Straw is back. It was good to see him kind of back in the saddle a little bit, pushing to make the playoffs. With Larry in that division, Paulie had crowned him the next baby goat. I don't know if he's baby goat level, but he might just make a Super Bowl this season.
NFC is wide open, man. It really it's up for grabs. He's the new guy. Nobody has a bunch of film on him. I mean, you just got to look out for a guy like that who can make some noise. Larry's a good player. Shared a division with him in Primer. He's tough. I mean, he's I think I think he made conference championship twice in Primer, and I know that's a different level, but um, he's a good player, man. He's gonna be a perennial
Good.
playoff guy, either wild card or conference champ, one or the other.
He kicked my butt when I played him. He got really lucky, and I was saving some stuff for the playoffs, and I was intoxicated. I don't drink, but I was intoxicated that game. But he's a solid player. Plays good, really good defense. Probably one of the better defensive players I've played all cycle.
Got a good user. He's he picks up on things too. He's one of those guys that'll pick up on things quick.
Yeah,
Whatever you like to do.
yeah, he's good at that. Narratives in the SML are always a fun thing. You and I talk about it. Everybody talks about them. AFC. I think the narrative to start the cycle was the AFC's top heavy, and the NFC was more kind of at least balanced. Like it could be anybody's thing. But now I think I'll say it. I don't know. You're an NFC guy. I'm an AFC guy. I think AFC is just better. I think AFC top to bottom, all the way around, top end, bottom end, middle end, AFC.
I would agree the AFC is probably better. However, narratives have levels, and there's a reason why I think the AFC looks better, both on paper and the eye test. They start out with loaded teams, man. They got the both conferences. We said it before the cycle. The AFC's got all the good QBs. Okay, so hey, that's a factor for 100% is. I think we have maybe one or two loaded teams in the NFC, but the offense is not really anything crazy with the Eagles and the 49ers, both great defensive teams. So it's a different style, man. The AFC definitely has, I think, the better players. The NFC beats up on each other very much. If you kind of look at the conference standings, there's a lot more middle of the road teams in the NFC. There's a steep drop off in the AFC, like real steep. It goes from 8 wins down to 4 wins real quick, and then everything below after that is less than that. So,
well, here's the problem. You ever look at the average age of a basketball team, and they're all 24, and then they have the 39-year-old vet that's the 12th man. You guys have Gilbert, and he's weighing you guys down on your wins and losses. I mean, that guy.
Yeah, but he's also a win for everybody in the NFC. So we'll take it. You know what I mean? We'll concede conference championship. AFC can have it, even though we have a chance to even the Super Bowl series if you want to play that game. So
yeah, we'll see what happens. Hey, another big time topic we talk about. People come in, they ask us questions on the spot, if you will. And a caller sent this one in. He says, "Does Matt suck, or should he just shut up?"
Did Matt send this in?
No, he didn't.
Dude, well, I think everybody knows Matt doesn't suck. Should he shut up? Probably not at this point. I mean, he stuck with it thus far. I respect the man for sticking to it.
Respect Matt.
But Matt doesn't suck. Now, people got after him a little bit yesterday in chat about the whole "my season's done" thing. That was factually wrong, and Matt's a guy that literally always is fact checking everybody. And so I gotta, you gotta put his foot in his mouth a little bit there, and I think it showed a little bit. But I respect Matt, but Matt doesn't suck, not at all.
Here's the thing. Matt is a man of honesty and truths and non-biases. And in his eyes, he sucks because he's comparing himself to Dump, to Wine, to KP or QP and KP, maybe. I don't know. These super teams, these guys with these rosters and these crazy sticks. Matt doesn't play Madden. He loads up and yeah, he plays it, but he's not Bean. He's not Dan. He's not some of these other guys who are in 2 or 3 leagues. He loads up and yeah, he shakes the hand and he hugs his opponent afterward. And he might win a game or two on good defense and doing the right thing and getting good karma. But in his eyes, he's like, hey, you know what? I suck because I'm not this guy who's got this crazy team with set feet lead and this loaded up roster, and I don't play the game. He's like, hey, I don't mind being cocky. I'm great at bowling and I'm great at MLB The Show and probably have more money than you do and all this stuff. But in his eyes, that's why he thinks he suck. And I gotta respect a man who can just be real and see himself, for how he believes he is, and just admit that to other people. I think Matt's always matched up well against me, and he plays people close. But in his eyes and his reality, I think he's telling the truth.
Well, in reality, it isn't always black and white. There's usually some gray area. So you can say you don't suck, but also say you're not great. You see what I'm saying? So I think the truth lies somewhere in the middle, is all I'm going to say.
I respect Matt, and that's all I'll say. Next question. Did you see my article about the crime thing?
I did. I didn't get to. I
You lied.
didn't read every single one of them. I'll be
Okay,
honest.
that's fine.
I saw filthy. I saw a few of them. I saw I was an embezzler or something like that.
Yeah.
And there's the AI pics, which was pretty entertaining.
Yes. Do you feel your embezzlement? Maybe we shouldn't say this, but do you think that's an accurate crime for you?
Yeah, because I bet you I feel like I could get away with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Addison. He can't. He wouldn't do that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I don't think I would actually do it. But if there was one felt like I could get away with,
Yeah.
that'd probably be it.
Yeah, the SML crime was an interesting one, and then I seen another one come out, the David and Goliath thing by KP. Some people were accusing him of making that article just to toot his own horn and say that he beat the most Goliaths. Did you see those claims, allegations?
I haven't seen that one yet. I think he posted that when I was playing my game with Noel, and then I pretty much just hopped straight on here. So
Yeah.
I haven't seen the David and Goliath. KP's articles are usually pretty quirky though. I enjoy reading them. He usually puts some thought into them.
I'll say this about those articles. Like, even if there is some self gratification, hey, it's content at the end of the day. Like, if someone's kind of like give themselves a little love, but it's still at the end of the day, it's still an article and it's got SML content. So we'll take it, man. It's thought out too.
Hey, it's something to read, and if they spent time on it, I respect it. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna, if it's 2 sentences, then I'm like, oh, okay, give them a quarter content point maybe.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if they spend some time on it, I think that's always good.
He spent time on that thing. AJ, I think it's time we talk about you a little bit more. And this is a big moment for you. SML UT cards, the kind of big deal in the SML. Everybody gets their UT card at some point, unless if I get lazy. Your card, we're going to show it right now. StarDev, 79 overall. And there's a rating on the right for everybody at home. Highlighted by 82 rushing, 80 team building, 81 game management. Just a solid card, not an elite card, but solid. And I was going through, there's some websites like Mutt Abilities or something. I don't know if this is an old Madden ability. I don't know if I've ever seen it before, but it was listed, so I used it. I gave you backyard QB because I feel like, hey, it's 4th of July. Your son's got some friends over. You got some cousins over. Someone's like, hey, we need a guy to play all-time quarterback. All right, here comes AJ. And yeah, you'll kind of laugh and you'll throw some passes and they might end up in the turf, but you'll be an all-time quarterback. You'll be the backup QB at the family function.
Yeah, I think that's fair. It's definitely less degrading than some of these I've seen. So I'm okay with that for sure.
What do you think about your card?
It looks good, man. To be honest, as bad as I played the past 2 seasons, I'm glad we did the ratings, a few seasons ago. So I'm not going to complain about any of the ratings at all. I think the SML, the slut cards or whatever we call them, they're fun, man. I enjoy seeing them. I enjoy seeing people's funny pictures on there and the ratings and all the the abilities that we try to make sense of.
Did you want to introduce Tiny's card?
Let's do it. Let me pull it up real quick. All right. Tiny Titan, and Tiny Titan. I can't keep a straight face with this one. Tiny Titan is 77 overall. Okay, and the ability we gave Tiny, called No Outsiders, right? Tiny's from Tennessee, as everybody knows at this point, ad nauseum. Tiny's from Tennessee. He's uh he's what we would call far right, probably. And we think with no outsiders, we're thinking most conservatives, most of boomers, they're like, you know, we don't want the outsiders. We don't want the immigrants coming over in
Build the wall, baby.
We
Build the wall.
we build the wall. Don't want people coming to Tennessee and Anderson Fieldville or wherever the hell Tiny's from up in the mountains. Um, and Tiny gets no outsiders because of that. And I think that's a pretty accurate ability. Credit to you on that one for digging that one up.
And Bomber actually DM'd me, and he's like, "Yeah, it's a good one." Or put in our chat, and he's like, "Another reason why is because he only marries within his family. No outside of his family."
I'm just glad Tennessee's getting more slander than Mississippi, so we're safe from that one.
Tiny's card highlighted 79 rushing, 80 team building, which is crazy because if you knew Tiny 2 cycles ago, you never would have believed it would get to that point. He was a terrible team builder, and he's kind of gotten bullied and ridiculed, and he's become a pretty solid team builder. That's Tiny Titan.
And he's been playing pretty good lately too. So I think if we do these again soon, he could potentially have a higher rating for sure.
And maybe a star dev. He's only normal dev. He should be star.
He's a late bloomer. He's like, Rich Gannon or whatever with the Raiders. So
Yep. All right, it's time for the Primer Minute. And AJ, you're a Primer admin, a very important figure in the Primer. Tell us about it.
Well, to all of our fellow Primer members, we are nearing the end of cycle. Everybody's getting a little Madden fatigue. With that said, we've seen a dip in activity for a few guys. We've had a little bit more turnover. Some of it's because of SML having turnover, which is good, to get some new blood in the SML for sure. But with that said, assessments will be made here soon on how everybody was going to be graded regarding gameplay activity. We're getting close to the cycle. That means we're going to start putting people in tiers to where we think they're going to draft next cycle. And if we don't think you belong, we're probably just going to cut ties if you're not putting in any kind of effort. So let this be a friendly warning, not necessarily to scare anybody, but to if you feel like you've been slacking in any of those areas, gameplay, scheduling, communication, whatever, now's not the time to be slacking. Now's the time where we're bringing in new blood. We're bringing in the people that want to be in new leagues right now. Even we opened up for Xbox players, which has not worked out so far. But we'll see. All it takes is 1 or 2 guys every once in a while to pop in and really show out. So, but with that said, we've gotten some good call ups from Primer. We've had maybe one dud that we had to cut ties with, but we're excited about a few guys. Hopefully we don't have to add anybody soon. I know Prime needs a break from all of his firings and tough conversations and everything he does behind the scenes.
Hey, that's good stuff. And to your point, I think that's something not a lot of SML people know. Like, we did open up a SML Primer for now, and the SML, if one of these guys works out, we're a cross-platform league now. We kind of just did that silently, and I should probably market that better. But we haven't really had too much problem finding people up until this point. I know occasionally we have an opening or two for a couple of days, but hey, that's going to add an influx of people. And also, that Primer Minute thing is big for Primer and SML. Like, sometimes people will slack off the final season or two and maybe take some more forced wins, and then their scheduling score gets tanked hard in evals, and then they're behind a guy who they were ahead of the whole cycle in evals by a couple points. And like, well, why did I fall? I'm like, well, because you you really just gave up the last season and just kind of held your spot. That's why. And people don't understand that it's a consistency thing more than just giving a lot of effort for 2 or 3 seasons. So, that's big for Primer. That's big for SML. That's good stuff, AJ. And guys, we appreciate you watching SML 4th and Inches. We're in about 25, 26 minutes here. So we're going to sign off. Thanks for watching. SML playoffs are coming. I'm Prime. That's AJ. Until next time, have a great day.